on, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey fucking Pipes. It is 5:47 p.m. a.m. Oh my God, I'm wrecked. It's 5:47 a.m. in the great communist state of New York. It is Monday, December 1st, 2025. They always say the early bird catches the worm, and right now I am pulling up to my shop, parallel parking, right in front of my dumpsters, right there. And I got some things I need to get off my chest, so I hope you guys are ready. We accomplished a lot yesterday. Oh, it feels so good in front of the Modine. Woo! We accomplished a lot yesterday. I finished up that oil to gas conversion, arriving at around 5:45 in the morning on site, and we were done by 12 o'clock, and it was just me, myself, and I. I'm not trying to pat myself in the back, but that's quite an accomplishment. Quite an accomplishment. And that's after a couple screw-ups, like reversing the domestic cold and hot water lines, going into the tankless combi, the die for the 1-inch, which wouldn't work, which resulted in me getting the Mega Press from the shop with the M18 press machine. And the only thing that's left is the condensate removal. We have to put that into a neutralizer and pump it away. But other than that, mission accomplished. I am going to stop by there this morning. I know that the tenants are moving in today, which is December 1st. And as promised to the property owner, we got it done. We got it done. I do have to check upstairs. I have the keys now. I want to check upstairs and make sure the domestic hot water is working fine everywhere. But quite a sense of accomplishment getting that job done. Really is. And yesterday afternoon, I get home, man baby walked the dogs. So I got home, I took a shower, I sat in the kitchen, I had an espresso, put together the video, and then I put the news on. Before I talk about my disgust, I need to have an espresso. Gotta love the espresso. Took a few moments also clean out the truck that I left in a state of disarray yesterday. You try working 7 hours hunched over like this so you don't hit your head. And even though I hit my head probably about a couple dozen times, with or without the knit hat, with or without the knit hat, and then you want to clean out a truck, tell my boss to shove it right up his keister. It'll get done the next day, which it did. So I'm going to speak my mind a little bit as a taxpayer, as an American citizen. Some of you may disagree with this, but that's what's great about our country. We have the freedom to express our feelings, our political beliefs, our raw emotion without the fear of persecution. However, unfortunately, there's a lot of people on the other side of the aisle and way on the other side of the aisle that are going to want to cancel me out or unsubscribe. So there's this thing called SNAP benefits, Supplemental Nutrition Aid Program. I think that's what it is. I probably just made it up in my head, but it sounds about right. AKA food stamps. Now, if you recall, in the last government shutdown, it was a hot topic come like November 1st because the U.S. Department of Agriculture was not going to get the funding to fund food stamps. But nonetheless, I learned yesterday that Letitia James, she is in my opinion, the criminal who is the New York State Attorney General. I say criminal because she allegedly, and the proof is in the pudding, falsified mortgage documents to get a favorable rate, saying that a home in another state was her primary residence. Allegedly. All right, not proven guilty, right? I got to act like I'm a newspaper or a media outlet, right? But I am a creator, a content creator, and I can speak my mind. So Letitia James led a group, a coalition of 21 other attorney generals across the United States, suing the Trump administration from eliminating or barring food stamps, SNAP benefits, to those who are permanent residents. Now, just hear me out for a second before you get so hell-bent and bent out of shape. Hear me out for a second. Just 1 second, right? And then we could have a conversation if you like, right? If you travel to the United States with the intention of staying here and you do that process legally, right, you need to be able to take care of yourself. It is not my responsibility or other tax-paying Americans to put food on your table. It is not my responsibility, and it is not the responsibility of other Americans to provide assistance for you and your family. It is not. You want to come to this country because it's a land of opportunity? Great. Come here, do it legally. Get a career, a profession. I'm not saying job, because in my opinion, a job is being just over broke. Work. If you think you're going to come here and have an abundance of children, offspring, and then file for public assistance, why should I have to take money out of my pocket and give it to you? Okay? That's my take of things. Right? And it reminds me of a story that Ronald Reagan told a number of years ago, having dinner with a family. And there was a girl there had a question. I'm trying to remember how the story went. Well, no. Ronald Reagan asked this young girl having dinner one night with her parents what she wanted to be when she grew up. And she said she wanted to be the President of the United States. And both her parents, they're both liberal Democrats, were standing there. So President Reagan asked, if you were the president, what would be the first thing you would do? Well, I'll give food and houses to all the homeless people. Her parents, glowing, nachas, amazing. She's got a great soul, great heart. So Reagan goes, wow, what an amazing goal. But you don't have to wait until you're president to do that. And she goes, really? She goes, you see, you can come over to my house right now. You can mow my lawn, pull the weeds, sweep my driveway, and I'll pay you a few bucks. I think it was like 20 or 50 bucks or whatever it is. Then go over to the grocery store where that homeless guy hangs out and give him that money to use towards food and shelter. Right? The little girl thought this over for a few seconds and then looked the president straight in the eye and said, why doesn't the homeless guy come over and do the work? And you could just pay him the money instead. Reagan goes, welcome to the Democratic Party. I fucked up the punchline. He goes, welcome to the Republican Party. Food for thought. Just saying. Food for thought. So I am going to compose a letter, not an email, to Letitia James, and I'm going to mail it in today's mail. And I am going to express my thoughts as a citizen and resident of New York State. She works for me, right? I know that the Republicans are a minority in New York, but she still works for me. I am going to compose a letter, and we're going to mail it off to Letitia James. And if you would like a template of that letter, I'm going to put a link in the description box down below. You can download it from my Google Drive and mail it to Letitia James. Together, maybe, just maybe, we can make a change. Maybe. Man, I love ChatGPT. Here's the letter. Attorney General James, I am writing to you as a lifelong American citizen, a New York State resident. Don't even get me started. A business owner and a taxpayer who works every day to support my family, my employees, and my community. I am deeply concerned and strongly opposed to any effort to support a lawsuit against the current federal administration that would allow SNAP benefits to be expanded or protected for individuals who are not American citizens. Public assistance programs such as SNAP were created to serve the most vulnerable citizens of this country. People who have paid into the system, follow the laws of this nation, and depend on those programs as a temporary safety net during hardship. At the time when inflation, housing costs, healthcare expenses, and small business pressures are crushing working families across New York, it is profoundly frustrating to see taxpayer-funded resources potentially redirected away from those who were originally designed to protect. As a New York taxpayer, I expect my elected officials and legal leaders to prioritize the needs of law-abiding American citizens and legal permanent residents who contribute directly to the tax base that funds these programs. I believe that expanding or defending the use of public assistance for non-citizens undermines public trust, strains already limited resources, and further burdens the very families who are struggling to survive in this state. While I support compassion and humanitarian principles, I firmly believe in fairness, lawful process, and fiscal responsibility. I respectfully urge your office to reconsider any action that would support this lawsuit or further the expansion of SNAP eligibility for non-citizens. The people of New York deserve to know that their tax dollars are being protected and used first and foremost to help fellow Americans in need. That's my letter, and it's going out today to the New York State Attorney General, Letitia James. I doubt it'll make a change, but it's like trying to win the lottery and never playing. So if you want a copy of the letter, I'm going to put a link in the description box down below. Fill in your name, put it in an envelope, mail it. Have a nice day. Catch you in the next one. Be well, God bless, stay safe.